Welcome to the Veterans in Politics Talk Show. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, live stream on Facebook. Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sampson, Stephanie Phillips with another episode of Veterans in Politics. Today we have Julia Mushall. Mushall. And I just said it earlier too.
Close enough.
And she's going to be discussing allegations that the state and county officials violated Nevada revised statutes, resulted in the unlawful removal of her nephew. Right?
Right.
Okay. But before we get to Ms. Mushall and Ms. Phillips.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And thank you to our sponsors. We have Dr. Ari Nagy. He's running for Congressional District 3. His website is nagyforcongress.com. nagyforcongress.com, and that's FOR. We also have Henderson's mayor, Mushall Romero. She's running for re-election. Her website is votemushallromero.com, votemushallromero.com. We also have Cody K. Whipple, and he's running for Congressional District 4. His website is codykforcongress.com, and that's the number 4, codykforcongress.com. We also have Judge Jennifer Schwartz. She's running for re-election for Department 17. Her website is judgeschwartz.com, judgeschwartz.com. We also have Tim Ross over at the North Las Vegas Hangars Association. If you want to know more about them, their website is vgthog.org. That's vgthog.org. And George Harris, finally, you got us. Oh, I forgot Dave. Dave Marlin, running for Las Vegas City Council, Ward 6. His website is daveforvegas.com, and that's FOR, daveforvegas.com. And George Harris, we finally have his sign up here. He's running for Senate District 8, and we are wearing his shirts tonight. George, I have to say, I got to give you a big shout out. This is the best t-shirt that I have seen. I love the color, and you did the V-neck for the ladies. I appreciate that. And I love the bright color, and it's actually a very nice t-shirt. Also, George gave us, and I want to show you this because it's so cool. He gave us jackets that have his logo on the front. He's got 2026 on the back. He's got the Nevada flag on one sleeve and the U.S. flag on the other. Very impressive, George. I like them very much. So thank you for all of this. Also, we have a new sponsor, and it is Trent Richards. He is running for Henderson Justice Court, Department 4, and his website is trentforjudge.com, and that's the number 4, trentforjudge.com, and his sign is right here behind me. And sorry, George, George Harris's website is votegeorgeharris.com, votegeorgeharris.com. Also, don't forget to grab your copy of Steve's book, How to Navigate Nevada's Family Court System. If you are a family court litigant and you don't have an attorney and can't afford one, jump on Amazon and grab your copy of this self-help book. It is $14.99. It will help you navigate that system. Also, we have a merch store. It's VIPImerch.com. VIPImerch.com. There's all kinds of fun things there for you to check out. And also, we have the last rounds of our endorsement interviews Friday. Friday afternoon, we have school board interviews, and Saturday, we have all of the mayor and the city council races, and then we will be done with our endorsement interviews. And that was a long haul. It's a lot of work. But for my rant, real quick, I want to talk about this would-be, or this assassin that tried to get into that White House, or the media dinner where President Trump was. And, you know, we see this stuff happening more and more. This was the third attempt on his life. And I want to just point out, in the media, the things that some of these media stations say, it really has an impact on some of these people. And so obviously these people are deranged, they're evil, they're sick, mentally ill, they have serious problems. And they go out and commit crimes like this and try and take a shot at the president. And it is just sickening what is happening. So I look at the media, I look at entertainment, Hollywood, actors, actresses, the things that you guys say, like Jimmy Kimmel, that was atrocious. And he's making a joke and trying to be funny, and he's not. He's disgusting. I hope he gets fired for saying that Melania looks like an expectant widow just days before this attempted assassination. Yeah, you didn't know that, Mark? Yeah, it was terrible. And then one of the guests at that dinner, he heard a reporter say, "I hope they kill that orange mother effer." A female guest at that dinner, he heard her, and I hope that they release the name of who that was. And, when these people in the media, they call him a fascist, a dictator, a king, like he's a Nazi, he's a threat to democracy. All of these things that they say in the media, this incites violence in people. It matters what you say. And you guys, in the media, they have gone after Trump relentlessly. And I lay a lot of this at your feet of these people in the left liberal media that just hate Trump. And it's disgusting. What if that was your father? What if that was your father-in-law, your grandfather? What if that was your family member and people are trying to assassinate them? So I think, and I see these people on social media also that say carelessly, I hope. I wake up every day. I heard one guy say on his video, I wake up every day and hope that he is dead. That is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So I think we need to just be better people and not say things like that. And the media really needs to take responsibility for the things that they say.
Well, thank you for that, Ms. Phillips. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to let folks know, first I wanted to thank all the panel members and staff and the candidates that showed up Friday and Saturday. And we did some endorsements. On Friday, we endorsed Manny Kess for Clark County Commission District E, Tamika N. Washington for Clark County Assessor. There was no endorsement for Clark County District F and Clark County Commission District G. And on Saturday, that was our 8th out of 10 non-judicial endorsement interviews. We endorsed Dr. Howell Shaw for Clark County Clerk, Stephen T. Barella for Clark County Recorder, Mitchell T. Tracy for Clark County Treasurer, Michael Murphy for Clark County Public Administrator, Carmen LaShawn Hall Miller, hope I got that all right, Carmen, for Nevada Board of Regent District 8, Patrick L. Vila for Nevada Board of Regents District 2, Eric Swensid for Nevada Board of Regents District 3, and there was no endorsement for Nevada Board of Regents District 5. So congratulations to all the candidates that have been endorsed. And we're going to have an awards ceremony, I believe it's Monday the 11th at the...
the 11th at 5:30.
5:30 p.m. at the West Charleston Library, when we're going to be presenting all the endorsements. And
sorry that is only for panel members and endorsed candidates, because we have a very small room over there and size limits. So sorry we can't have more people that are endorsed candidates and panel members.
Yeah.
Come on over.
All righty. So now we're going to go to Julia Mushall.
There you go.
Mushall. Ma'am, how you doing today?
Good.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you and Stephanie for having me.
And could you give us a bio?
Oh, on me?
Yeah,
oh,
about
yay.
you.
Well, first of all, thank you, Steve, and thank you, Stephanie, and thank you, Mark. And I want to say I was raised with religion, and whether or not you hate or like President Trump, he is a human being, and nobody has the right to take his life away. So I just wanted to say that. Okay. Well, oh my goodness, I'm 68 years old. I was born and raised in Northern California, Sonoma County, wine country, very different than the desert. My husband and I came out here in the year 2000. He was ill, so we moved so he could be near family. I am a 32-year-old breast cancer survivor. So I had to give them up for my life, and it was no problem. So, and I'm still here. And I have a daughter, I have a son-in-law, and I have 2 grandsons. I was a claims adjuster for 20 years. So I understand Nevada revised statutes to all these people that I am fighting with. So, other than that, I think that's it.
So what brought you
I
here
hope.
today? What brought you here today?
What brought me here today is I have a nephew who is autistic. And his father died when he was 6 years old. And his grandmother, who was my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law, who is now deceased, legally adopted him. And they basically raised him from a newborn. And with his autism, he's very bright, but he does have aggressive tendencies. And after my son or brother-in-law passed away, my sister-in-law was taking care of him by herself. It was difficult, but at the time she had family and she had friends that helped out. So she had a very strong support. And then unfortunately, here came COVID. And so, with me being a breast cancer survivor and dealing with other medical, I could not be around a lot of people. And so we talked on the phone, but we didn't have the same connection, personal connection, because we did a lot together, and including Patrick. So anyway, in the year 20, I think CPS got involved. My sister-in-law's older son and daughter-in-law, they're both on Social Security disability, and they really weren't making a lot of money. So they thought, oh, let's try to get Patrick, and then they could get his money. He gets Social Security and he gets VA benefits. So he makes a lot of money for a young man. And they saw that opportunity. And from the year 2016, they have tried and tried to get that young man. And finally, when he got COVID and my sister-in-law got COVID, well, they're both on medication. So unfortunately, everybody suffered. CPS got involved because they got called by the son and daughter-in-law. And anyway, bringing us to April of 2021. The daughter-in-law took my sister-in-law to the doctor, because they want to move back to Michigan. It's like, move, go, nobody's stopping you, but they wanted to take the 2 of them. So my nephew and my sister-in-law. They took my sister-in-law to the doctor. Why, I don't know. They did not take her to her primary. Took her to a doctor. They told the daughter and son-in-law, or the son and daughter-in-law, told the doctor she had dementia. She couldn't take care of herself. She couldn't take care of Patrick. She can't drive. Anything. So the doctor kept saying, well, you need to go with your son and daughter-in-law to Michigan. Well, he kept arguing because she didn't want to. Well, finally, she just finally said, okay, I'll go. That was just to get out of there. So several days later, the son and daughter-in-law called my sister-in-law to discuss moving. And she says, I'm not going. So that it got bad. The son and daughter-in-law came to my sister-in-law's home and just walked in, and that's a home invasion. They were not asked to come in. They started a violent argument. My nephew got very upset, and he was going to throw the laptop. This young boy, he's 6'2" and a good 250 pounds, and he's got strength. He could have taken the three of them out. And my sister-in-law was very concerned. She tried to calm him down, and he wouldn't. So she finally slapped him on the arm, like that, slapped him. And he's got very Irish sensitive skin. So, of course, it was red. And
how old is he at this point?
He was, I believe, 15 at the time, 15 or 16. And it calmed him down. He was like, okay. So he went back into the room and everything. But then somehow the police arrived.
Who called the police?
Well, we believe the daughter-in-law did. Because it's very odd. I keep saying it was a setup. Why would they come to the house with papers saying that if anything happened to Kay, that they take Patrick? That made no sense to me.
Did CPS come out?
Oh, yes, they did. And not only that, my sister-in-law did not want Matt and Debbie, which is the son and daughter-in-law, to take Patrick. They said, call me. And nobody called me. And then there's another girl that was a counselor for Patrick and counseled him and became a good part of our family for at least, 11 years. And they wouldn't let her take him. The landlord at the time, since then, my sister-in-law has bought her home. The landlord was there. She said, let me stay with Patrick here. Nope, wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Where's the mom?
The mom deserted them when Patrick was 3 months old.
And his father?
He died.
Died.
In 2011.
Okay, so your husband's sister.
No, my husband and my sister-in-law's husband were brothers.
Okay, and they were taking care of him.
My brother-in-law and sister-in-law, yes, were taken. Okay. My husband's deceased already.
Who actually got guardianship of him after the mom disappeared? And who had legal custody?
The father did. And then when he passed away...
after he passed?
Yes, after he passed, they terminated her rights, parental rights. Mm-hmm. She never fought it. And so they legally adopted Patrick, and I was there to watch it. And Matt and Debbie weren't there; they weren't asked. They had no relationship with Patrick at all. Patrick is my nephew. No relationship, and that's why it's just amazing how CPS would rely upon them. So anyway, and the deputy. Because I watched the body cam, and the deputy knew right away he was arresting her. But he kept talking to everybody and got a statement from her and never read their rights. I watched it. They never read her Miranda rights. And they kept putting words in both of in my sister-in-law's mouths. She was struggling mentally, yes. She was. And because she wasn't on her medication properly. And so anyway, she gets arrested. She gets out and she immediately files a domestic violence restraining order. So A week later, they go to court. The judge, instead of issuing an actual PPO, a protection order, he ordered civil injunctions. Those are basically still protective orders. And Matt and Debbie were ordered not to harass. And she filed it for Patrick and herself, my sister-in-law. But for some reason, she's the only one on the actual order. But in the paperwork, she is asking to protect him. And the judge did this because there was a CPS case open, and they could talk to each other, but it had to be civil. Otherwise, he warned them.
So when did it get to the point to where you allege that they kidnapped him and took him? It was Michigan, is that right?
Yes.
When did he go to Michigan?
Okay, that was in 2023.
Oh,
so
okay.
so anyway, so now so at this civil injunction hearing, she gets Patrick back. And that's in 2021. So then she's going through the court. And so CPS is still on, but nothing really active is going on. But here's where we run into a problem, because
Did CPS remove him from the home?
no, yeah, only one time.
Okay.
But then he always went back to her
And how long was that case open for?
for 2021 to
The
2
juvenile.
years, and he stayed with her. That's what boggles my mind, is you're so concerned, but yet you left him with her this whole time. And so
The people who adopted him?
my sister-in-law adopted her grandson. So now he's legally her son.
So why wouldn't he want to stay with her?
He does.
Oh.
And he did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. No, CPS had a whole different idea. So now we come to the criminal case, and it's still ongoing. Now, I did not realize that it was still going, because here we've got COVID, and I talked to my sister-in-law, and I said to her, why haven't you told me? She was very embarrassed. She's an elderly woman. You know, she's from a different era. So things are different. And so anyway, so now Patrick is back with my sister-in-law, but she has the criminal going on. And this is
What's criminal for?
thank you. Okay, they were charging her with a simple abuse, child abuse.
That's still going on from 2016
No,
or
not
2019? When did that happen? What year?
no, that
21.
was 2021.
And it's still going
April.
on now?
No, it closed in 2023.
Okay, so what was that outcome on the criminal?
The criminal, that's what I'm talking now.
Yeah.
Okay, that was in 2021. And it turned from a simple abuse. Okay, she slapped him on the arm to prevent him from causing a lot of damage and injury. It went from a simple charge to a felony, felony B.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like, how did you guys even do that? I don't know. And this is where it starts, because now what they're doing, they're manipulating the case because they want to take Patrick away from my sister-in-law. And now they're going to do it the lead.
Who's they?
I know. Sorry. My mother says the same thing.
We need a whiteboard and a spreadsheet and a flow chart of
Oh, yes.
all the
Yes.
people in here.
Yes.
Who's they?
Oh, what did I say? Who?
They want to take Patrick away from
DCSF, the attorneys, the judge, the DA.
who? Now? Still
no,
here?
No.
Oh,
this
back
is
then.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm doing it chronological.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. So now, okay, she was arrested. Okay, COVID's going on. The the criminal case is going on right now. CPS, everything is okay. Patrick is living with the grandmother, my sister-in-law. Everything's going along. until we get to court and they want to charge her with the felony B. However, there's a lot of issues with this. The criminal complaint was never served to my sister-in-law, never, and it has to be served. That is one thing. The summons, even though it doesn't have to be filed in the court, it does have to be served to my sister-in-law by an authorized person. It was never served to her.
Is this criminal complaint closed now?
Oh, yes. We keep trying to reopen it, and the judge
Why?
keeps shutting us down.
Why?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. They deemed her incompetent. Even though her doctor says she's competent, her psychiatrist says she's competent.
Did they put her in jail?
Nope.
Did they?
Nope.
Anything?
Nope. Never. Okay. And the Judge Lane, and I say that, Judge Lane.
This is in Nye County,
yes,
folks. This
Nye
is out
County.
in Pahrump.
Yes. Did not refer her for medical treatment. She is now what they call legal limbo. He should have referred her for medical treatment to get her better and bring her back. And if they wanted to charge her, yes or no. But the thing is, her attorney and the judge in transcripts say this is a good defense case or a good self-defense case if it had not been for the incompetency. Well, let me tell you something. Every piece of paper I picked up in her criminal file, procedural errors, one right after the other. This case should have never even gone to district court.
So if this case is closed
Yep.
and nothing happened, she didn't go to jail, she still has Patrick.
No, she doesn't have Patrick.
Okay, so is this the catalyst that
This is what started
had him
it.
removed then?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Now we're
you.
getting somewhere.
Okay,
All right.
good. You
Let's-
ask me questions and
Here we
I'll
go.
tell you.
Okay, so she's back home. All right, now let's get to Patrick going to Michigan.
Okay, so
And how old is he at this point?
he'll be 21 in June.
But that's now. But back
Yes,
then,
back
during
then,
this,
what,
was he of
16,
age? Oh, okay.
17?
Okay.
Okay. So in October 2022, they closed her criminal case. They dismissed it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in the body, it says dismiss due to incompetency. However, you have to, in the state of Nevada, Nevada revised statutes clearly say there has to be 2 reports. They only had 1 report in the file. I reviewed the file, and as of this year, there was only 1 psychologist report and who said that she was incompetent and could not stand trial. Well, first of all, she was not on proper medication. Second of all, just 2 months before he saw her, she was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder. And
So these are things that were used against her
yes,
by the other parties. Did they file a guardianship case
not yet.
to take? Are they using these things,
Yes.
these findings?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So what's the current status of this whole
Okay.
thing?
So let's get into January 30th. I filed a hearing because the my sister-in-law's attorney told me after the case was closed that because she's incompetent, the judge is ordering her and Patrick to Michigan to live with the son and daughter-in-law. And I'm like, I don't think so.
So they're telling her to go because they don't believe she can take care of herself
Yes,
even.
yes. But why would you send somebody when they don't even like each other? So
Are you guys taking care of
I'm taking care of
her?
her.
Do you guys all live together?
No, we live about a mile apart.
Okay, and she and Patrick live-
Patrick is in
to-
Michigan,
how long has he been there?
3 years.
Okay.
So we go to a hearing, and because, I had had a meeting with CPS, the attorneys, the guardian ad litem. There was like 15 people. And I said, listen, I will help out. I will be the guardian. And so it was agreed upon that I would be the guardian of my sister-in-law and Patrick. The guardian ad litem at the end said, all right, I'll draw up the paperwork so Julia can be the guardian. And someone from CPS, well, let's just do a 30-day trial to see how it goes. And I'm thinking, fine, there'll be no problem. I get along with Patrick and Kay. And so Kathy McKenna, who is the director for CASA, which is now Acorn, she says, I said, well, when do I need to, take responsibility? She goes, right now. I said, right now? I said,
take responsibility of what?
Of Patrick and Catherine.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And it's like they've been living together for how many years? 17 years. And now all of a sudden they have to have 24/7 care.
And how old is she at the time?
She was 75.
Oh, okay. So
yes,
not that elderly.
No, but she was struggling, but as long as she's on her medication, she's fine. So
when was that guardianship case filed?
That was in 2023. So we'll bring it up January 30th. I had a hearing. I requested a hearing. Everybody was involved. CPS, all attorneys, the district attorney. And it was very bizarre because they said that they, is that when they removed me? Oh, yes, they had removed me because I had sent my nephew to the hospital at the suggestion and recommendation immediately by his psychiatrist, because that was another thing. CPS was keeping him in turmoil, and it was intentional. It was because they were manipulating, because this way they could say, look, he's aggressive all the time. He wasn't on proper medication. When I talked to his psychiatrist, he was like, what is going on? He had no idea the turmoil that my nephew was in. He told me, you get him immediately to the hospital right now. Well, CPS got angry at me, and 2 months after they agreed for me to be his guardian, we passed the 30-day trial. Well, it was 2 months, and they said, sorry. They were very angry because he went to the hospital. They had to fit the bill. So, anyway, we go, and then a week before the hearing, January 23rd, CPS rural manager and the supervisor in Pahrump called me and said, hey, we want you to go get Patrick out of the inpatient facility and take care of him. We'll have you sign a contract.
How long was he in inpatient?
2 months at this time, 3 months? And he was ready to come home. So I get we go up, I get the contract, and I'm like, no, I'm not signing this. Because they wanted me, the only thing I disagreed with, I was not going to stay with them 24/7 again. That was hard. And I mean, they literally wanted me with him 24/7, both of them. And I said, there's no reason for this. She's competent. Her doctor says she is competent. So anyway, and just so you know, she also granted me, my sister-in-law granted me temporary guardianship. There is a Supreme Court form that you can fill out, and she could give me temporary custody, and she did that. And so January 23rd came, and I said no. Okay, mind you, this says that I am capable and qualified to care for Patrick. I am in alignment with CPS. I passed the background. They came and inspected my home, and everything was okay. Well, first of all, no, they didn't inspect my home. Never inspected my home.
When did they? When,
January 30th.
Okay, let's get beyond that. So when did the people take guardianship of him and then take him to?
Okay, well, you have to know
Michigan.
the judge closed the CPS
Yes, I
case
understand.
on well, they don't know, on January 30th, 2023. We did not know that. They never gave us the order. So the judge and CPS and all parties continue to have hearings. They were saying that when I had a contract with them, they said they were telling the judge I was unfit and not proper to care for Patrick. And it's like, okay, that's nice. So then February 2nd, they called me again and said, here, sign this contract again. You don't have to care. Since the doctor says she's competent, you don't have to be with her 24/7. I said, okay, fine. So we went and picked Patrick up. Everything was going great. I had him in school. He was no problem. He had a new psychiatrist, a new therapist. All right, here comes March 20th, 2023. All of a sudden, we're called into court, and I'm, once again, CPS and everybody is attacking me, saying I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's like, what are you guys talking about? I mean, nobody ever said, hey, you're not doing this right. I was doing everything right. The supervisor, Michael Kaysen, who is no longer, oh, gee, I wonder why, no longer with CPS, he told the judge that I would not allow Patrick to talk to his aunt and uncle in Michigan. Okay, first of all, I don't live with them. And they just happen to call when I'm there. I never did that. And I never got a chance to argue it or anything. And so the judge banned me from Patrick, from talking to him or anything.
Who's the judge?
Judge Lane, Nye County.
I thought this case was closed at the end of January.
It was. We didn't know it was.
So why is he still telling you what to do?
Exactly.
But in March, at the end of March.
Thank you.
Why is anyone even listening to him if it's a closed case?
Because none of them they were all in cahoots with each other.
Who's they?
Oh, sorry.
The judge?
Oh.
Who's
the
they?
judge, the DA, all the attorneys, and CPS.
So who was telling you? Did you have a judge's order to not speak or see?
Yes. Well, no. I didn't get an order. I was verbally told.
By who?
By CPS.
To not speak with them.
Yes.
And who are they?
CPS.
That requires a judge's order, I would say.
I was never served an order. I was never given an order.
Did you comply?
Yes. I complied. I didn't want them getting into trouble.
So then what happened?
I thought we were still fighting for Patrick. Oh, on March 6th, we went to a guardianship hearing. I filed for guardianship. Mm-hmm. This is what happened. Judge Lane called our case to order. He says, denied, case closed, let's move on. What? That was it. And he never issued an order until I filed a complaint with the judiciary. Then 20 months later, he filed the order, and then he lied about that, and then he had no jurisdiction at that time. So here comes March 28th, 2023. I get a hysterical call from my sister-in-law. They're taking Patrick. I'm like, what? You have to have guardianship papers or some type of order or a warrant or something. Yes, CPS
has come to remove
to the house. Yes,
Patrick from your sister-in-law.
Yes.
Okay, and where are they taking him?
Somewhere CPS flew my sister-in-law out from Michigan.
How do you know
that? Because it's in paperwork.
They paid.
Them
to come out.
That's a miss. And just so you know, I filed a complaint. And that went to the Attorney General's office because it was a crime and they were misusing state funds.
It's a crime for CPS to use state money
Yep.
to fly potential guardians.
Yes.
Right?
They
Over
weren't
here.
yet. They weren't
They
guardians
weren't yet, but potential
yes.
placements
Yes.
for Patrick. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
There was no paperwork, so I immediately called the sheriff's office. A deputy called, talked to me. Then they called and talked to the CPS. The deputy called back and says, because I said, listen, they have no paperwork. Because in order to get guardianship, we had to be served papers, and we weren't. So he did a report, or a CAD call, they call it, documentation. And in the documentation, CPS told the deputy that they are placing Patrick with the relatives in Michigan. Well, first of all, there's a program, it's a mandated law in all 50 states called the ICPC process. And in transcripts, the judge even says, if you are going to send him to Michigan, you have to do the ICPC process. They never did that. That's another violation that they have done. They have now violated another law. They did not do the ICPC process.
What is that?
It's an interstate compact between all states. So Nevada would have to file an application with Michigan. Michigan then would have to go out and investigate the family. Then they let Nevada know, yes or no. That process never happened. And I want you to know, for 3 years, he lived with no bed and no bedroom.
Where did he
We
sleep?
don't know because they're not saying. So,
did anyone go do a
Oh.
wellness check? Did CPS in Michigan ever go to the house?
I filed so many times and nobody will do nothing.
So you're saying when they removed him, he went to Michigan, and how is he related to those people in Michigan?
He's Matt and Debbie are the aunt and uncle.
Okay. So, but did they officially get guardianship of him?
Months later. So there's no paperwork.
And
in
that's
Nevada.
why you're saying that he was allegedly kidnapped.
Yes.
And how old was he at that time?
He was still a minor. He was 17.
And when did he turn 18?
He turned 18 in June. So when he went to Michigan, apparently Matt and Debbie were supposed to file guardianship because they didn't. Now, in Nevada, the guardian ad litem, number one, a guardian ad litem has to be neutral. They cannot represent other people. The guardian ad litem in Nye County, Mr. Neely, represented Matt and Debbie from Michigan, Patrick, and my sister-in-law, Catherine. You can't do that. He never even talked to them. And in fact, he was supposed to talk to me, Catherine, and Patrick. The two of them, Patrick and Catherine, have been telling everybody, and it's in court documents, I don't want to go to Michigan. He said, and this is what's hard. He said, Auntie Julie, he goes, please do not let them take me. And I said, Patrick, if they for some reason take you, I said, I will fight until I bring you home. And I've been fighting 3 years. Catherine and I have been fighting Nevada and Michigan. And
so what do you have? What kind of court case do you have filed now? What does that look like in current time?
In current time, we are in the Nevada Supreme Court. They don't like unrepresented people. And, it just amazes me because we follow the law. Her and I will look everything up, we'll research.
Who's her and I?
Oh, sorry. Catherine, my sister-in-law. Yes.
So she's competent enough
Yes.
to go look up NRS statutes But they claim she has dementia or
Yes.
she's incompetent.
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
And she even drove to Las Vegas for her competency evaluations
From where?
from Pahrump.
Okay.
From Pahrump to North Las Vegas and Henderson. She had to go from one place to another and back home.
So
I said to the doctor, I said, if you thought she was so incompetent, how did you let her get back into the car?
when did you file your case with the Supreme Court?
January 2024.
Okay. And it's been ongoing. And what have you got accomplished through the Supreme Court? Anything?
A headache.
No. Okay.
Okay. No. Oh,
When's your next hearing?
it's right now, we've done the briefings and we're in screening.
And
So
what do you hope to get accomplished? What are you asking from the Supreme Court?
bring Patrick home. Bring him home. There's no, we tried for a year to work with these people to try to get, him to bring him home.
Are you appealing the guardianship case that they filed and were granted guardianship of him?
Illegally the judge had no authority to grant guardianship.
Why is
because
that?
Patrick was living in Michigan.
So the judge in Nye County, granted
Judge Lake.
the guardian
Yes.
to those people in Michigan
Yes.
who now have him. So obviously the law, because if you called the cops or alerted somebody that he was kidnapped, that's a crime. But obviously they don't see it that way. They see that they have guardianship of him, and they don't see it as a kidnapping.
They did not file guardianship on March 28th. They had no paperwork. Nothing.
So you're trying to go back on all these, and you're trying to present all of these facts to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And show them the sequence of events
Yes.
that happened, how it happened, how that judge ruled on the guardian
Yes.
case, and prove that he didn't have jurisdiction.
Correct.
So that guardianship, in your opinion, should be reversed to bring him home. Is that what you're trying to accomplish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because the paperwork says Patrick is living in Nevada. He's not living in Nevada. He was living in Michigan for 2 months already. So, and just everything that they have done. And you have a DA who, we have an order. They never served us an order. His daughter is the court administrator. Well, when the Supreme Court orders the district court to send the district court file. Well, when she did, she intermingled the unserved order with another order. I caught that. And so now we went back to district court, and the senior judge, because the other two judges recused themselves.
Why?
Judge Lane recused himself from the lawsuit.
Why?
Because he was involved with the criminal case and the family. And then Judge Wonker, now this is another thing that's very upsetting, because the DA, who had no business in our case, filed a motion to intervene because he says he represents CPS and he wanted to protect their interest. Okay, at that time, CPS was already represented by the Attorney General's office. And so that was a lie. And the judge set it out for a hearing. Well, he also filed an ex parte to stay the proceedings. Well, he's a non-party. And so the judge should have never had an ex parte. And it got granted, apparently. This is the order that got granted, but the DA never served us. But he was still not a party to the case.
So have you laid out your case to the Supreme Court? Obviously, you
Yes.
have filed these papers.
Yes.
And what has been their response?
Well, so far, We did everything
Have they
properly.
denied your motions?
Nope. Well,
Have they denied anything
well,
in 2 years?
yes. They've granted some motions, denied some motions. But our case is still going. Our case is now in screening, meaning everybody's done what they need to do. Now the Supreme Court is going to determine either we dismiss your case or we move it to the appellate court or to the Supreme Court. So that's where we are right
I thought
now.
you said it was in the Supreme Court.
Well, it is in the Supreme Court. But they determine if it stays with them,
Okay.
yeah, or
Okay.
if it goes to the appellate, or if they just close it.
And who exactly are you filing against in that case?
It is the Attorney General Ford.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he didn't do anything for 2 years. He just lost in the Supreme Court. He filed a motion to dismiss himself.
Mm-hmm.
The Supreme Court only dismissed him as an individual, but he is still a party as his official capacity.
Okay. Who
He's
else
done
is
it.
on there? Nye County DA?
Nye County DA, Matt and Debbie in Michigan.
How about the judge in Nye
No, because
County?
we can't sue the judge unless I
Okay.
go federal.
Have you filed a bar complaint against
Yeah.
any kind of complaint?
yes.
A
Oh,
judicial
yes.
and what have they done with the Judicial Discipline Commission?
They've denied everything.
So that's all closed.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I filed with the state bar against all the attorneys. This is what
Nothing.
I got from them. If somebody tells you that they've done something wrong, then come back to us. And it's like, excuse me? I'm sorry, but your job is to investigate when someone files a complaint against an attorney.
Yeah. Very little do we see any kind of accountability come out of those two.
Oh,
jurisdictions.
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, how can you say a judge did nothing wrong when he never filed an order on guardianship for 20 months? He closed the CPS case. I mean, I have it, and it's right here, and it says, legal physical custody of Patrick by the Division of Family Services terminated. Appointment of counsel for Patrick Mushall terminated. The appointment of guardian ad litem terminated. This case is closed. January
So,
30th.
What is still
Ugh.
what hasn't the Supreme Court dismissed? What do you still have?
The whole entire case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And-
all the charges or all the allegations.
So you still have allegations of kidnapping,
Kidnapping, elder abuse,
all
child
this
abuse.
stuff. Okay.
Because child abuse stemmed from the CASA worker pushed Patrick down 4 to 5 times onto the couch. You know, every time
Did
Patrick.
you see that?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Our district attorney Coonsey in Nye County, who is running for re-election, please do not vote for him. He closed both of those without telling us.
Because it was he said, she said, you couldn't prove
Oh
it.
no, we have police
just-
reports and everything.
Okay, but they didn't believe you, obviously.
No, and he said because, in fact, the DA went into court one time and said, I question the validity of this. How can you question the validity when there's a police report and the CASA worker admitted it but claimed it as self-defense?
Oh.
How can you? And it was not self-defense. And I showed the officer what happened. Now, the officers believed us because guess why? This is why it went to the district attorney's office.
If they believed you, they probably would have arrested that CASA worker on the spot.
Well, his son works for the Nye County Sheriff Office. That's why. I truly believe that. It's really bad in that town. You know, so, and then here's the Adult Protective Services filed elder abuse because Matt and Debbie in Michigan called, I always say, God works in mysterious ways. We went to church on Easter Sunday. They told us to shut our phones off. Well, when we shut the phones off, Matt and Debbie called my sister-in-law and threatened to bring back Patrick to Nevada to kill her.
What?
Yes. Oh, it's on. We have the voicemails.
It was on a voicemail
Yep.
that they left?
And the Adult Protective Service heard it. And Matt tried to say, well, you didn't hear the real messages. And she says, I heard them and I have them. They threatened to send him to a facility in Ohio because they couldn't afford to feed him. Then, this is the worst, and this is a crime. I discovered this is a crime what they did. She was suicidal when this all happened. And my sister-in-law. I mean, I was up for days, making sure she was okay. She was living with me. And so somebody, and now to me, somebody violated the law because they told Matt and Debbie she was threatening to kill herself. And they said, oh, we hear you want to kill yourself. Obviously, you haven't done it yet. How come? What's taking you so long? Hurry up and do it because nobody cares.
I think you sent those to me.
Yeah.
Way back, didn't you? Because I
Yeah.
have a lot of emails from you.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, and
I remember
you know what? That in itself, egging
So
someone
the
on to kill
cops-
themselves is a crime.
So the cops never did anything with those voicemails.
They sent it to the DA.
And they did nothing. They didn't press charges.
No, they
or
closed
say
it.
that was threatening or anything.
They said nothing.
Okay.
Is
Is that also
elder-
part of your complaint with the
Yes.
Supreme Court?
Yeah. The Elder Abuse, the Adult Protective Services filed a substantiated report for elder abuse. Nye County Sheriff Deputy filed a report. And at first they weren't going to. No, that was on the child abuse. But anyway, they sent it over to the district attorney. I fought and argued with them. And they finally, I went to IA. And I finally argued with them, and they finally sent the child abuse against the CASA worker to the district attorney. Well, that is such a conflict of interest because, number one, he works daily with the CPS. And so after 9 months of doing nothing, I said, you need to send this to the AG's office, special prosecution, because you have a conflict of interest. And I said, please let me know. Okay, so I did a follow-up in 3 months. I said, hey, what's going on? Do you know the next day he issued closing letters and never sent them to us? But that's okay. That's their typical style.
But you weren't a party to the... Okay, he wouldn't send them to you.
Well, I sent the letter.
Okay.
Yeah. I sent the letter requesting. And so he denied them. And then he never even sent us. But see, they don't send orders either. This is another. The senior judge, we finally got heard for our complaint that we filed against all parties, all the defendants. We go into court. It's like, what is it with these people?
What are defendants?
Defendants are CPS, Richard Whitley, Director of Health and Human Services, says, oh, not there anymore. Attorney General Ford, Kathy McKenna, Kevin Spradlin from CASA, and then the 4 employees from CPS, several other, and all attorneys involved, Mr. Neely, Ronnie Boscovich, Andrew Coates, who works for the AG office, and Miss Jaharna Shanani, something like that. So those are all the defendants in the case who are now respondents because we're in the Supreme Court.
So when are you going to court next?
We're just now waiting
For them to put it on the calendar? For you to be
make
heard?
a decision. Yeah, we are hoping.
Oh,
yes.
So they've heard all of your arguments.
Briefs, we did
and all that. They've
Yes.
heard the other side.
Yes.
So now when do you expect that decision to come down?
I would think, just from looking at everything and it should be hopefully within a month's time.
So you hope that they will reverse all of that
Yes.
and that Patrick will come home.
Yes.
So if he doesn't, what is your next course of action? Have you thought about a federal lawsuit?
Yes. Yes. Somebody has already suggested go federal. But we also have the United States Supreme Court.
Who's your lawyer?
Me and
She
my
doesn't have
sister-in-law.
That's
Yeah.
what, yeah, this is,
Well,
that's difficult.
it
without a lawyer.
is.
Yeah.
It is because listen, I will quote the Nevada Revised Statute and word for word.
I assume that's
They
in
ignore
your
the
papers.
Supreme Court, huh?
But I assume that you put all of that in your
Oh, yeah,
papers to them.
we do everything legally.
So do they not agree with your view of the law or how you had it stated in there?
No, they just don't give a reason. One time was they denied us because we didn't have exhibits to support it. And I filed a motion for reconsideration. I said, look at the document. The exhibits are attached. Again, ignored it. No, that's what they keep doing to us. We have, but there are some things that we did win. Nothing major, but, just like the Matt in Michigan, the uncle, filed a document 5 months late. And then he said he served us, and he didn't serve us. The Supreme Court issued a decision, and I'm like, what is this? So then we filed an opposition, or I forget what it was, motion to strike or something. And we said, listen, here, we gave them all the documents. We gave them the envelopes, the certified mail that showed the date. The date that Matt served us was the day after the Supreme Court issued an order.
We're running out of time now.
Okay. Yeah, I could go.
So what is you obviously you came on the show to tell your story. What do you want people to know on this? What do you want to see happen from here?
Okay, well, number one, before and above anything, Patrick to come home. Because honestly, this will kill his grandmother. She's lost her son. She lost her husband of 37 years. And if she loses Patrick forever, it literally, it'll kill her.
But he is of age now. Why can't he just leave and come home?
They do not let us talk to him. I haven't talked to Patrick in 3 years.
Does he know your number to call to reach out?
He's already been warned.
That he can't talk to you?
Yeah.
By them?
By Debbie and Matt.
So do you write him letters or cards?
Oh, yes.
Or something?
Oh,
Does
yes,
he get
we
them?
do. Oh, yeah. No, he doesn't. In fact,
How do you know?
we have mailed cards with gift cards. We mailed cards every holiday. His birthday, last November when we were in court in Michigan, Matt said to the judge, well, they say they love him, but they've never sent him any holiday cards or birthday cards. And it's like, oh my God, then where are they going?
Do they ever get returned? Or do you think they just keep it from him?
Oh, they just kept them or threw them away.
Have you visited? Have you gone out there to try and see him?
I would never go out there. I don't trust them. And Kay's doctors have already said, if she goes, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't. And because we do want to go see Patrick, and we actually were talking about this, but it'll have to have police involvement because I don't trust them.
But he's an adult now.
But
he can make those.
but he's the They are the guardians of him. Illegally, again, here we go, illegally in Michigan. The judge had no jurisdiction and he gave them guardianship. They have domestic violence arrests here in Nevada that I've presented. They have the civil injunctions that are current. And the judge in Michigan says, no, they're not. I said, yeah, they are. So he's violating the full faith and credit of our Constitution because he has to honor that. And they have elder abuse pending. That's another thing. Attorney General Ford, he's not doing anything. He's had it for 2 years.
He likes to sit on complaints and not do a whole lot because we have a bunch of litigants that have told us and they don't get answered. I think he's too busy traveling outside the state of Nevada
we saw
to handle
that.
complaints.
Oh, they ignore us.
Ms. Mushall, we're just way over time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mark is gonna zoom in on you, and you could say whatever you want to say to the audience, or if you have a point of contact, or whatever you want to say.
Okay.
It's your show.
Oh, it's my show?
Yeah.
It is?
You get a 2-minute closing.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me know.
If you want to give out an email or how people can reach you, if you want, you can.
Okay. I am from Nye County. We have some very important elections, and we cannot vote in or re-elect Judge Lane. He does not stand by the law. He does not stand by the Nevada Revised Statutes or the Constitution. D.A. Coonsey, we do not want to vote him back in. Same thing. He does not follow the law. He does not prosecute when he should. And he is representing right now, Nye County needs to know, he is representing a couple from Michigan who are not county employees or state employees, and they have domestic violence, elder abuse, and civil injunctions against them. And we do not want Commissioner Ron Boscovich back in. We want to vote for Michelle Nelson. She's running for DA, and we don't want our Sheriff McGill back in. Vote for Dan Pinot. And I know there's other people.
Do you want to give a point of contact or no?
No.
Okay.
No, that's okay.
And do you have a handle name on Facebook?
Yes, I do. My name is Julia Mushall, and I am known as Nope. Yes, because people got upset with me the other day for not saying my name, but there was a reason.
Okay. Well, Miss Mushall, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Folks, that's Julia Mushall talking about the allegations that the state and the county officials violated Nevada Revised Statutes, resulted in the unlawful removal of her nephew. And we hope that this program has been informative to you. And apparently there's some corruption going on out there in Nye County. Maybe Judge Michelle Fury could get involved in this as well. This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips, Veterans in Politics. Until next time.
Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, live stream on Facebook.